Good evening, dear friends. This is Ratheesh, PGT Economics, Kendra Vidyalaya, Madurai No.2. We were discussing Indian economy on the eve of independence. From the last 1 week, we discussed the conditions of Indian agriculture sector, industrial sector, and foreign trade under the colonialism. We could see Indian economy remained stagnant under the colonialism. Today, we will discuss the, the demographic conditions of Indian economy under the colonialism. Before the session starts, we will discuss what is demography and theory of demographic transition. Demography. Demography is a study of population, it's a science of population which is based on social economic factors such as age, literacy, income, marital status, occupation, religion, birth rate, death rate, infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, etc. So demography is a study of population. It's a science of population. We will collect the information about the population like income level, their income wise classification, age wise classification, sex wise classification, marital status, occupation, religion, education level, birth rate, death rate, etc. Theory of demographic transition. Theory of demographic transition explains the relationship between economic growth and changes in the population. There is a relation between economic growth and changes in the population. This theory explains the relation between economic growth and changes in the population. According to this theory, every country passes through three phases of population growth. According to the theory of demographic transition, each and every country passes through three stages of population growth. First stage. In the first stage, birth rate and death rate will be very high because of the inadequate public health facilities, social beliefs, illiteracy, etc. responsible for the high birth rate and death rate. The population, as a result of high birth rate and high death rate, the population growth will be very low. There is no problem of population, and this stage reflects represents the underdeveloped economy. Second stage. In the second stage, birth rate will be very high and death rate will be very low. So there is a population explosion. The population will be very high. The rate of population, the population will be very high under this second stage because there is a high birth rate and low death rate. The death rate will be declined because of the progress in the or improvement in the health sector. Third stage. The third stage. In the third stage, both birth rate and death rate will be very low. Population growth rate is very low under this stage. The third stage reflects or represents a developed economy. In India, the first official census was done in the year 1881. India's first official census took place in 1881. In India, census operations were carried out in every 10 years. Before 1921, India was in the first stage of demographic transition. The second stage of demographic transition in India began after 1921. That's why the year of 1921 is termed as Year of Great Divide. Year of Great Divide. 1921 is termed as the Year of Great Divide because India entered into the second stage of demographic transition in the year 1921. That is, in this year, from this year we can see that high birth rate and low death rate. So the result is consistent increase in the population of the country. Now we will discuss about the demographic conditions during the colonial rule in detail. High birth rate and death rate was one of the most important feature of colonialism. Under the colonialism, we can see there was a high birth rate and death rate. The literacy rate was very low. It was less than, overall literacy rate was less than 16%, and the female literacy rate was 7% only. Female literacy rate was 7% only. Overall literacy rate was uh, below 16%. It is less than 16%. The public health facilities were not sufficient, and these were not available to the large sections of the population, or when available, they were highly inadequate. Consequently, more people died due to the spreading diseases, waterborne, airborne diseases. So public health facilities were not sufficient. It was inadequate public health facilities. High infant mortality rate was another feature of demographic condition under the colonial rule. It was infant mortality rate was at 218 per thousand people, 218 per thousand people, and at present, as per the 2011 census, it is 44 per thousand. What is infant mortality rate? Infant mortality rate refers to the number of infants dying before they reach 1 year of age, as per 1,000 labors in a year. In a year, suppose there are 1,000 labors. How many of the infants? Uh, how many of the infants dying before they reach the 1 year? This statistics is termed as infant mortality rate. It was very high under the colonialism. Low level of life expectancy. Life expectancy was average number of years for which uh, people are expected to live is 68 at present, and it was 44 years under the colonialism. So life expectancy was uh, very low life expectancy. Regarding the extensive poverty was a common phenomenon, Bengal famine. You already learned these things in your small classes. So poverty was a common feature of Indian economy under the colonialism. Even though there is no doubt that there was an extensive poverty prevailed in our country during the colonial period. Overall standard living of the common people was very low under the colonialism. There was a widespread of poverty under the colonialism. So when we conclude the demographic condition under the colonialism, the statistics, the census details, the facts revealed through the census in 1881 showed that, means after 1881, showed that there was a high birth rate and death rate, and infant mortality rate was very high. It was 218 per thousand people, and life expectancy was very low. It was 44 years, and literacy rate was very pathetic. It was below 16%, and female literacy rate was below 7%. And public health facilities are not sufficient to meet the public demands. So tomorrow we will discuss the occupational structure and infrastructure under the colonialism. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.